The old folks say those were the hardest years of their life, the years of poverty after the war. They remember it well because everything was destroyed, their houses, their fields, even their hope for the future. But most of all, they remember the hunger. It was a winter like this one. The snow fell silently, covering the empty streets of the city. People were inside their frozen houses trying to keep warm by the fireplace. They didn't have much wood, so they had to make the fire as small as possible. Outside, the wind howled like a hungry wolf, but inside it was even colder. In one of these houses lived a poor family. There was a grandmother and a grandfather, and their 3 grandchildren. They were very poor. They had almost no food or coal for the fire. All they had was one small piece of bread. The old folks looked at each other. They knew that they couldn't eat it themselves, but it would be a sin to throw it away. Then the grandmother said, "We should give it to our grandchildren. They need it more than we do." The children were so hungry. Just one piece of bread could fill their stomachs for a whole day. The old couple cut the bread into 4 pieces and each child got a piece, but even that made them very happy. They shared it among themselves. They didn't want anyone to be hungrier than the others. And so they ate the bread, each taking only a small bite at a time. In this way, the piece of bread lasted for 4 days. And on the 5th day, the sun rose again, and they waited for a new day full of hope. Maybe someone would bring them some food or coal. Maybe someone would come to help them, but no one came that day. So the next day, the old folks did. They went out into the snowy street and knocked on their neighbor's door. There were many families like theirs, but there was one house where a light was still burning. Maybe someone was home. Maybe they could help them. The old man knocked and a woman opened the door. She was taken aback. She hadn't expected any visitors that day, and especially not in the middle of the night. But when she saw that it was an old couple from down the street, she quickly recovered. She invited them in, gave them some hot tea and asked why they had come. They told her about their hunger, about their grandchildren, about how difficult it was to survive. The woman listened to them patiently. And when they finished, she said, "I understand you. We also had nothing to eat yesterday, and my husband and I decided to spend our last bit of flour to bake bread. Would you like some?" The old couple was deeply moved by her kindness. They thanked her and accepted her offer. Then the woman added, "Tomorrow I will bake bread again. Come over early in the morning and you will share with your grandchildren." The old folks hurried back home, eager to tell their grandchildren about the wonderful news. When they got home, they found that the children had spent the night playing. "What are you doing? Don't you know that we're hungry?" the grandmother asked them. The kids got scared. They had been so cold that they started playing and they didn't notice how the night went by. The old folks told them about the woman who had shared her bread with them and how they would go get some in the morning. The children couldn't believe it. They had been so hungry for so long that they thought this must be a dream. But when they woke up the next morning and smelled the fresh bread, they understood it wasn't a dream. They ran as fast as they could to their neighbor's house. And so, thanks to the help of their neighbors, the children managed to survive. Day by day, people began to help each other. The strong helped the weak. Everyone worked hard to rebuild their lives and their country. The fields turned green again. The factories lit up. Children's laughter echoed in the streets. The years of poverty had taught them something very important. As long as they shared, humanity would overcome any hardship.